Good evening and welcome once again to this week's episode of It's My Turn Now. And you already know that everyone gets a chance to express your thought. Let us know what your opinions are regarding the subject. Feel free to give your input. There is a link on my Facebook page if you want to come on and click. If you want to come on live, feel free to come on live because it's your turn now as well. We're so excited about our guest tonight. We have a very interesting subject on tonight. We're talking about the challenges of buying or renting a home. We have some real estate brokers on here who have their own companies. They're involved in real estate. They're involved in property managing, leasing, a number of aspects of real estate. So I want you to feel free to ask them some questions, and I'm sure they'll be more than happy to answer those questions. Once again, if you have friends, family, share this with them. Let them know that It's My Turn Now is on the air, and we're here and ready to answer your question. And so we're excited about. We're going to bring on first guest tonight, Dr. Robin T. Reese. Welcome to It's My Turn Now.
Thank you. It's my turn now, and I'm excited about being on the show.
Yes, ma'am. It is your turn. Give us 60 seconds to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I have been a real estate agent since 2001. I started under the auspices of Century 21, and I worked for them for about 7 years, and then I launched Reese Group Realty. So we've been in business now for 17 years and excited about the opportunity to serve people, to actually bring to life the dream of homeownership. So it's a wonderful, wonderful journey. I don't seem no bit tired at this point. And I'm licensed not only in Indiana, but I'm also licensed in Arizona. So looking forward to answering some of your questions this evening. And definitely feel free to get online and join us and ask any question that might be applicable to tonight's subject.
Very good. Also, I actually worked with Century 21 for a number of years as well. So we had that in common. So if anyone's interested in getting a home in Arizona, you can see Dr. Reese. I just talked to a real estate friend of mine who's actually in the process of buying a house in Arizona because she wants to move to Arizona. Oh, wow. So that's pretty interesting. Arizona is a pretty busy, popular place right now for the real estate market. So it's pretty out here. It's booming. And matter of fact, I was going to purchase a property there a couple of months ago, and someone purchased right before I got a chance to purchase it. Okay, let's see. Shirley Walden says, praise the Lord, everyone. God bless us. Shirley Walden says she shares. So if you're watching this, please share. Next, I'm going to bring Mr. Mario Vitalis on. Welcome to It's My Turn Now. Can't hear you.
I'm sorry about that. Thank you very much. It's my turn now. My name is Mario Vitalis. I'm a licensed real estate agent with eXp Realty. I've been licensed since 2020. I have real estate experience that goes beyond then in terms of investment properties, as well as being involved in local transactions. I work full time as a sales and as an account manager. Plus, I also do farming on the side. So I'm excited to be here today to share what knowledge I can in regards to renting versus buying. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys may have.
Very good. So you see, we have some very dynamic guests on today, and they both have so much involved in a lot. Dr. Reese is also a reverend as well, correct?
That's minister? Correct. Yes, I'm an ordained minister.
So you're involved. Ordained minister, fantastic.
Yes. And so I'm looking forward to not only serving my clients, but helping to get them saved. So I wear two hats in that process.
I actually had the pleasure of hearing you speak one time. You did a great job. I tell people I can help you with your spiritual home and your natural home. Either way, I'll get you there. We'll help you find a way. I've been selling real estate myself. A lot of people don't know I've been selling real estate for about 40 years. Believe it or not, I know y'all probably say this, I look too young to be selling real estate 40 years, but I just started real young. But I've worked with a number of different companies as well before I finally decided to start my own company. But I enjoy real estate. I enjoy working with people. And I think most people who are into real estate are extroverted people who enjoy working with people. And so let me see. This is Myrna Rich. Said hello. She is a great minister. Very good. All right. See, she's vouching for your abilities in the ministry as well. So Not only are you fantastic in real estate, but you're fantastic in ministry. Now, we want to encourage those who are watching. If you have a question concerning real estate, please let us know. We're here to answer questions. One of the things that what we're looking at right now, and as far as real estate, we have a lot of investors who are buying up properties, which makes it hard for the average person who is trying to purchase a home to even buy a home. Property values have gone up, skyrocketed, because many of these realtors, and a lot of people don't understand, many of these investors are buying these properties. They're telling individuals, and I know most of you get these calls. I get calls myself. Do you have a property? We see you have a property. Do you want to sell it? So what happens, mostly people are offering sellers an opportunity to get rid of the home without having to repair or do anything to it. And that sounds very appealing. But what happens, they get those houses, they fix them up, and then they sell them at a high price. So now the supply is limited. The demand is great and supply is limited. And most of you, if you took economic supply side, economics, demand and supply, when the supply is low, the demand goes up, and so many people are finding it hard. I don't know about you, and you can tell me your experiences, but many of my clients, they have a hard time actually finding a house or finding a house at what would be considered a reasonable price. A house that may have gone for $150,000 last year, that same property might go from anywhere to 200 to 225. I've seen as high as maybe $100,000 higher increase. So let me see. Robin Poole says, greetings and praise the Lord. God bless you. Thanks for joining us. My turn now. Okay, who wants to be the first one? Ladies first. We'll let you go first, Dr. Reese. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, well, my thoughts are when it comes to renting and buying, I think there's no one case fit all kind of scenario, and you really have to weigh out your odds here. I think it's important for people to sort of create a pros and cons list. Are you looking to be in the property for a little while? The best opportunity to gain equity is to stay there a little while. If you're thinking about maybe relocating the next year or two, no, I don't think it's a good idea right now to purchase. However, I kind of sometimes have to be wear two hats. I do believe that renting does not actually give you any value. So each month you're paying out something, you're not able to really capitalize off of the monthly payment that you put out there monthly. However, even if you stayed in a condo, just say a couple of years, and you rented that, or you purchased that condo, stayed there a couple of years and decided to relocate, you could keep that condo possibly as investment property, that house as investment property, or you could sell that property and hopefully actualize some equity from it. In most cases, as we've seen, the property values are continuing to go up. And so I wouldn't think that it would be a loss, even if it was a couple of years. One of the things that I'm seeing, though, is that a lot of people are having challenges with their credit. And if your credit isn't right, you're not going to be able to get finance to purchase that home. So it's very, very important to work on that credit. Maybe you need some time just to work on the credit. That's the reason why you're renting. And I think that's a good strategy. I like to counsel my clients, which is why I wear that ministry hat all the time when I'm doing real estate. So oftentimes we may be going down the journey of credit counseling for a little while, just to get your credit up so that you would be in a position where you could purchase. So there's definitely a different scenario for each person. I think we need to have that consultation. And any of us on here as realtors can have that consultation with you to see what is the best plan of action and the strategy that would work best for you if you're considering that renting or buying situation.
Very well stated. I'm going to give you a chance, Mr. Vitalis, but first I have a comment from Jamie. I'm going to respond to that. Jamie is greeting my real sister, Dr. Robin Reese, and Mario, I believe. We are glad to hear from you both, and I have been on this site since Bishop Walden started. Yay, good information. Very good. And again, as she said, that's her sister. You can tell the resemblance. I don't think they have to tell you. They look resemble each other. Let me see. Sister Howard says, praise the Lord, blessing to everyone. Now, Dr. Reese brought some good information, very good information, very pertinent information. What are your thoughts? We'll have to ask you to unmute yourself, Mr. Vitalis. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree with what Dr. Reese was saying. It's very situational when you want to get involved in real estate because it's determined on, one, what you can afford, and two, are you able to uh, obligate to a mortgage that's 30 to 15 years long. Like you said, we're in a situation now where the supply is low and the prices have increased. So a lot of people are getting a lot of the sellers are getting what they're asking for 100% to 110% of their asking price. So you have to be, one, ready to pay a high dollar amount, and two, ready to get in a bidding war. And if you don't have all your ducks in order, you're going to miss out on those opportunities because there are going to be other investors who have the right ducks in the line and are able to capitalize on those opportunities at the right time. So it's all about timing, whether you're renting and you're buying. And if you're not in a situation where your credit is not right, where you don't have a down payment, where you're just not ready to commit, then you may want to rent a little bit longer until you are ready to get in a financial position where you can commit to a long-term investment, such as a real estate property or anything beyond that.
Very good. I think we're all in agreement that it's something that you have to do your research on. Let me see. Rose has a comment. She said, "Praise the Lord, family. Glad to see you sharing what God has blessed you with, as you did with me. Owning a home is such a great investment. And my sister, Dr. Reese, is one that can get you to your new home. We did all in faith. Faith without works is dead." Very good. All right. So you got you a strong network, a pool of family to work with. But I will add something additional to that. Is you don't want to assume that you're not financially ready. What you need to do is find yourself a mortgage company or a finance person and let them run the numbers and tell you what you're qualified for. First of all, they can tell you if you qualify. Second, they can tell you the amount of money that you qualify for. Many people want to go out and they want to get a house and they don't know where their credit is. They don't know what they can afford. Have a financial person run the numbers for you. Say, for instance, if you're not able to get a house right now, the mortgage person may say, "Hey, you're not ready now." But what they can do is set you on the right course so that you can be prepared to get a home. And so I encourage you, get in touch with your financial advisor, let them run the numbers. And if you don't, okay, we want to bring Brother Mario back. We thought we lost you for a second. He got so excited that he just poofed off the screen there. But
sorry, push the wrong button.
That's all right. But get with your financial advisor. Let them determine where you stand because and how much of a house you're able to get. One of the things I think all of us, the three of us, are involved not only purchasing home, but either property management or the rental aspect. And I see it on both sides. I'm blessed to be able to help people to buy a house. I'm blessed to help people to be able to rent a house. I think hands down, I think the most important thing we have to realize is that I think the American dream is home ownership. I think that's what I focus to help individuals to get a home and to educate them. I've been blessed to do real estate seminars at various churches, and I think that's what churches need to do. Those who are watching here, go to your church and say, "Hey, maybe we can get someone to come in and to educate us." And I've done it at a number of churches, and a lot of times people just didn't even think about it. And some people just assume that they can't. I'll never be able to buy a house, and we don't want you to assume that. We want you to assume that I can buy a house. I just have to know the right direction to go. Now, again, what you all said is the pros and cons is, there's pros and cons. Some people are okay with renting. But again, as Dr. Reese said, when you're renting, you don't get the equity. Equity, I'll tell my client, buying a house is like putting money in a CD or IRA. Every time you make a mortgage payment, part of that's going is an investment. So that can be considered investment. But unfortunately, when you're renting, you don't have that equity. You're not able to build that equity. Okay, I think we have a couple more. Let me see. Okay, we have Sister. Sister Murray says, "Dr. Reese was my agent over 15 years ago. I love how she provided practice amid tools to help individuals to get into the best situation and the right timing." Very good. I've known Sister Murray for quite a while. I had the pleasure of selling her sister's home. So I guess we have that in common. I sold her sister's home when her sister was relocating. So I had pleasure doing that. So I think it's good when you can establish a positive relationship with your realtor, and because it's good that she's saying that she has good things about you to say, Dr. Reese, because sometimes people are not as satisfied. And I think that one of the challenges I tell people is it can be a learning experience. And I tell individuals that when you are buying a house, you are the boss.
Mhm.
You're the boss. And some people are intimidated to ask the realtor's question. Do not be intimidated to ask your realtor a question. And we are the experts. We're supposed to be the experts. So we're the ones supposed to know. So we're supposed to share the information with you. I've had a lot of people come to me after they've gone to another realtor and say, can you help me with this right here? And some know I'm into real estate. Some people say, oh, well, I didn't know you were in real estate. Well, I used to help a whole lot of people. If they came to me, they say, hey, after they gone to another realtor. So I said, okay, let's tell you what to do. Let me meet you at Ruth Chris. You buying, and we'll discuss it. I mean, that's serious. That's what I did. Because now you have a realtor. I can't do too much but advise you, because now you'll connect with another realtor. I had one individual tell me they bought a house. The realtor only showed them the house at nighttime, had a carpet in the area, and when they bought the house, there was a big old hole. The carpet cover. So unfortunately, there are some unscrupulous realtors out there, and the old saying, buyer beware. You have to be aware of your realtor as well. Let me see. Mary said, yes, you did. Okay, that's what I had to kind of stay up with her, because I'm not sure what she meant with it. Yes, she did. Yes, you did. But I imagine she's talking about you, Dr. Reese. I'm not
Well,
sure.
you helped her sister, and so she's saying that's the mutual connection that we have. You helped her sister buy the house.
Oh, thank you. See, there you go.
Yeah, she's connecting the dots for us.
Actually, that's how I met Mary, through her sister. Yeah.
Okay.
And that was one of the quickest sales, because she was relocating and with AT&T, and we had a time limit in which it had a time limit in which we had to close that deal. If you didn't close the deal, it was off. So I had to work hard on that right there. That was a quick, hard sell. I worked for that. So what are some of you Brother Mario, what are some of your other comments that you would like to share with the possible realtors, or possible someone wanting to rent?
I think it's just about the situation. Like you said, you should always have the goal of owning a piece of property, because in the end, that's the value that comes with ultimate happiness, is having that piece of land and having that piece of property that you can enjoy at your will, and then will it and pass it down if you want to. You can take off the equity and put it into other investments if you want to, because that is that piece of property that you have. And one thing that they aren't creating anymore is land. So as we continue to grow older and the population continues to increase, there's just going to be less and less land available, and the cost of land is going to go up. So if you are fortunate to move from a rent situation to owning the property, that is probably something that you should look into, because that's going to be an ultimate goal for you and for your family. So I would encourage people to do that. Only consider renting as temporary, and depending on your situation, when you are ready to invest into a home, to make the decision and do it with confidence, get with your local real estate broker, and then run the numbers and see if it's the right thing and if it's the right decision for you to make at that time.
Very good. Shirley says, well said, nephew. By the way, Mario is my nephew as well. So
yes,
I'm proud of him. He's doing a fantastic job. I think so too. I think when it comes to real estate, you have a choice of what realtor you want to pick. Pick a realtor that makes you feel comfortable. If you feel intimidated, or you don't feel that your realtor is showing you the type of relationship that is helpful to you, or then you may want to consider switching realtors, because I think it's important that you feel comfortable. And like Myrna just said, that how she felt comfortable with Robin. I think you should have that type of relationship. Never feel like I have to work with the realtor. You don't have to. I think a good realtor will say, hey, I want to earn your business. You're not obligated to stay with me. I want to earn your business. Of course, now let's talk about some of the trends now, because now we have to sign contracts. Tell us about that. The real estate market has changed. It has changed, and to me, I hate to say it's not changed good. I'm sorry. It makes it more difficult. It's more challenging. So, which one of you guys want to talk about that?
Sure, I'll chime in. Right now, and actually, it's a practice that I think should have been in place. I had it in place now since I've had my own company. I may have had it in place with Century 21. I can't remember. It was so many years ago. But a buyer's agency contract is a way of ensuring that your buyer not only has allegiance to you, but you have a chance to spell out your fidelity and your responsibility to your client. We have fiduciary responsibility and loyalty and all the obligations as realtors. We have a code of ethics that we are governed by. And as realtors, we have to treat people honestly, fairly, and do the best job we can do to earn your business. Now, when Dr. Walton talks about the landscape has changed a bit, the rules of engagement have changed in that years ago, anytime you hired a realtor, we could say that we are providing services to you and you actually really don't have to pay me for my services because your services or our services had been compensated technically at the expense of the seller of the real estate. Well, as of this year, we are now no longer necessarily compensated by the seller of the real estate. And so, just as a buyer signs an agreement to hire their realtor, if for some reason or another there is no compensation offered by the seller, then you have to be willing to pay your own realtor. And our fee for service is not something that's fixed. Each realtor has their own fee for service. So I'm not going to say what I charge or what someone else charges is unreasonable, but I think we each do a job for our clients and we should be compensated for that. We go to school, we have continuing education. And all of the things that we put into our job are well worth the value that we pass on to our clients. And so the fact that there is a cost to our service that has not been passed on in the past to our buyers is, again, it's been a privilege and a bonus. Now it could be a little different. Your client may have to pay a little money toward their real estate agent's fee or whatever that fee for service is. And so it's very important that you talk about that up front because you're going to sign an agency agreement and that's going to spell out the rules of engagement. Mine will say I'll try my best to negotiate and get that fee covered an alternate way, but if for some reason or another it's not covered, then you have to be sure to work that in your numbers and have some money saved up to pay that realtor their compensation for the services that they're providing to you. So yes, the rules of engagement have changed, Dr. Walton and DeMario. So we have to make sure we spell those things out to our client and make sure that they're comfortable with the fee for service that is being offered. And again, if you're not happy with the services that that realtor is offering, you can cancel that contract and possibly consider going with another realtor to help you with the services for your real estate.
And for some people, that's a new nuance. I never did that on my last time I sold purchased a house. Why did I have to do it now? So there's a lot of questions concerning that. Sister Rose said, thank you, Dr. Reese. So I think I have Sister Jamie on here. I have you asking a question. I see you. If you want to come on, let me know if you want to come on, Jamie. I'll bring you on live as well because I see that you press the link. So if you want to come on, Jamie says, I sometimes think of new home ownership, but this paid off mortgage is a blessing. I will make 100% from the sale of my home, but the homes are really more expensive and you don't get as much in a home in today's world. And very good. Those are some things we have to consider because most of us know for a fact that I used to have a great relationship with builders. And I think that's something too that people want to consider too. You can consider having a home built.
Yes.
And there are certain financial incentives. As you say, I want to have a house built rather than buy existing homes. Sometimes the mortgage companies offer a lower percentage rate, interest rate to purchase a new home. So that's an option as well to have a house built. However, it used to be 90 days to have a house built. I don't know how long it takes because since the pandemic, the material and everything, it takes so long for them. I don't know what your experiences have been.
4 to 6 months in a lot of cases.
Yeah. So it had gone further out, like at one point during the pandemic, it was taking 9 months to 10 to 11 months. But now they're able to get more supplies now, so it doesn't take. But I think that's something that you want to talk to with your realtor, builder. If you're working with a realtor, you decide to go to a builder, please let your builder know that I am working with realtor X or whatever. Give them their name and then they have a fiduciary responsibility to work with that realtor if you mention that person's name. Okay, let me see. I think I already read this right here. Okay, so Myrna says, thanks for this information. It is true that you can get out or cancel an agreement after you sign without being financially obligated. I'll let you answer that question, Dr. Reese.
Okay, so it just depends. If there's any upfront financial obligation that contract has asked for, it may not be refundable. It depends on if there is a retainer. I personally asked for a retainer just because I feel like you need to have a little skin in the game. I'm doing my job. I'm doing my part to show you properties. And next week you could have a decision to say, hey, I want to buy a house anymore, but I've shown you, 20, 30 properties, and yet, you've changed your mind. So there could be some small financial obligation, but if it is, you'll know what that amount is upfront. And if you're released from the contract, there's no further obligation to pay. The retainer could be forfeited for fee for services, is what I call it. But it may not necessarily be a zero out-of-pocket expense. It just depends on how that particular real estate agent works with their contracts. But in most cases, it's a nominal fee. But, again, if for some reason or another you're not working out with that realtor, things aren't working well, then I think it's to both parties' best interest to be released from that contract so that you can move on and be working with someone that you feel totally confident with.
Also, there has to be a certain amount of integrity with both the realtor and the client, because it's been years. I think like I said, I've been selling real estate for about 40 plus years. And I remember about 38 years ago, I secured a person's home. I secured a buyer for them. And then they made an offer. They accepted the offer. Then the seller pulled out of the deal. And so then they pulled out of the deal. And guess what they did? They went direct to them so they could save money, cut me out of the deal. So I think there has to be a certain amount of integrity on both sides. Respect the prospective client's buyer must respect the value, the time, and all. A lot of times people will say this, and I know you probably heard it before. I think I should pay this commission. They don't hardly do anything. But when you're taking time driving all over the country, find people's houses, and there's a lot of paperwork that goes in behind the scene that has to be done, that a good realtor can make it look seamless. You don't see all the ins and outs that the realtor has to do just to secure even the showing of the property. So I think it's important that we are aware that it takes time involved. And like as Reese said, I think that there should be some skin in the game, because you're going to value that person. If you put something there, you're going to be a little more loyal to that realtor. I think you should be loyal to a realtor unless there's a problem, there's a major problem. Because sometimes people, in this business, I've seen people follow a realtor for just anything, any little thing. And so you just have to respect their realtor's time. Mario, we haven't heard from you in a while. Let's see what you have to say. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Hold on just a second. Let me read Rose question, because I'm trying to read the questions, so I'll make it pertinent to what we're talking at the time. Rose says, so should you wait for interest rates to go down before trying to purchase a home? If interest rate goes down in the midst of your buying, can you get those low rates before you close, or do you have to accept the rate? Very good question. I'll give one of you guys a chance to answer that.
I'll take a shot at answering that. Right now, we all know that interest rates are higher than what we want them to be. A few years ago, we saw rates into 4% and lower, and those were great times to buy. Right now, they're in higher 6s, almost 7 if you look in some places. So it's now time to buy. I would say you kind of want to wait till they go down. I mean, I know the feds are putting in actions to lower interest rates, and maybe in a few months we will see those lower rates again. And so you don't have to be in a rush to buy. And another problem is that the people who have captured those lower rates, those rates in the 3s and the 4%, they're not going anywhere for a while, because they would have to get those 7s and those 6% interest rates on something new. So a lot of people are holding on to those mortgages that have their lower interest rates, and they're just not coming off those homes. And that's what's causing a lot of the supply issues. So if you're looking for a long-term opportunity, you may want to wait, because if you lock into an interest rate now, one thing you'll find out is a lot of these contracts have prepayment penalties. So they'll keep you locked into your mortgage for like 3 to 5 years before you can even get out of it, or you'll have to pay a percentage or a penalty to get out of the mortgage, which will eat up the interest that you're eventually making from a lower rate. So you always want to be careful. You want to look at the timing. Is it a good time to buy? And if you can wait for interest rates to get lower, that's what I would recommend.
Okay, I probably have another little thought to add to that. So the only caveat I would add to that is most of the rates that they're offering are fixed rates with no penalty. So those are some of the things that your realtor and your mortgage consultant will help you with as well. We don't want any buyer to get a rate where there is a prepayment penalty, because in all cases, we may want you to refinance. If the rates drop a point or half a point, it may be to your advantage to refinance. And so just a little caveat, I think it is another case-by-case situation that we could talk about and really consult with your realtor before you make that decision. You can buy down the rate. As Dr. Walton talked about, builders are buying down the rates to make it much more affordable so that the interest rate would be fixed, no prepayment penalty, and you've got a lower rate because the payment or the rate has been bought down by that particular seller. Sellers of the home can also give a concession to buy down that interest rate. That could be another reason that would still allow you to purchase in a climate where the rates are a little higher. And then the last thing that I think is important that people don't think about is, the last time I checked, you can write off the interest that you pay on your loan in your taxes. And so it's a taxable expense that can be deducted. I think they're trying to take that away, but right now it is still something that is a tax deduction, the interest that you pay as well as the taxes that you pay on your property. So there could be some tax advantages, and that's where you consult with your accountant to get more information about that. So I would not let the fear of the higher rate keep me, if all the circumstances are right now. My lease is about to expire and I'm paying an amount that I'm currently paying it for rent that I could actually own, then that might be a situation, a one-on-one situation, case-by-case situation. Consult with your realtor, consult with your mortgage advisor, and see if this is the right time. Even with the 6% and the higher interest rate, it could still be the right time for you. So case by case.
Very good. Also, if you are planning on purchasing a home, don't wait till your lease expires to start the process, because it can be very lengthy. Your realtor, your mortgage person can ask for certain documents, certain bills, you run a credit check. There's certain things that may have to be paid off. So you want to give yourself ample time to take care of that. Another thing too, you can shop around when it comes to the person who you want to finance. Sometimes build a relationship with your bank or something like that. Whoever you have a good relationship, shop around, see what every interest rates are different. I can remember in the 80s when interest rates were 20 and 21%. When you got an 18% rate, 18%, you were happy. 16, you were elated. And so even though these are high right now, can you imagine trying to sell houses back in the 80s when those interest rates were just outrageous? And that was people with good credit. And when your credit is bad, your rate is going to be higher. So those people 20, 23, 24%. interest rates. So you just have to be careful. Again, you can shop around, and I think too, if you are working with a realtor, find someone that of course, working with your family is a pretty. They know you, Robin, so they don't have to worry about that. But sometimes you can go into a situation blindly. Find someone that's been recommended, Don't just pick any realtor. Find someone that's recommended, something that you know about them, know about their track record, because this can be a very interesting relationship. Sister Myrna said, this is really good information. Thank you, Sister Myrna. Anybody else have anything to say? Again, I would encourage my thinking. Everybody cannot purchase a home at this time. But don't tell yourself I'll never be able to get a home, because I cannot tell you how many people who told me I just can't get a house. If you're working and you've been on your job any length of time, it used to be a time you couldn't get a house unless your credit rating was in the 700. Now it's going to be in the 600, and you can qualify for a home. You may not be able to get as much home as you want, but you can still get a home. And another thing to know too about the real estate, when the entry rate is high, that means you are qualifying for less home price. Say, for instance, you want to say, I'll just make simple, $100,000 home. If the entry rate is like 10% or whatever, you're only going to be able to get 100,000. If it goes down, that same 100 what you qualify, you may qualify for $125,000 home. When the rates go up high, you're going to qualify for less home. There's a relationship to the interest rate and the amount of home you're going to be able to buy. Tamika Patterson said, love this right here. Thank you, Tamika. Jamie Gonzalez, it's great to see Black Christian realtors. I wonder if any of you still find redlining RC, and would Robin or Mario speak about it? Basically answer my other questions. Very good. All right. I'm gonna let she's gonna prefer her sister, so I'm gonna let you answer that question first, Robin.
Thank God I don't see redlining. Redlining is a situation where we're steering people into particular neighborhoods, oftentimes because of a class, oftentimes because of ethnicity. And that is certainly against the law. It has been outlawed for years. So it would be something that would be highly, highly, highly disregarded. If we see anything like that, we want to point it out. We want to bring it to the attention of the National Association of Realtors. We are governed by a code of ethics. And so if we violate any code of ethics, the public, which Dr. Watson said the public should beware, but there are means that one can take to file a claim against that particular realtor if they are violating what we consider the code of ethics, and redlining would be one of those. So if you see anything that someone's trying to tell you, oh, this is where you need to buy, just because of a class, a protected class, then that might be a reason. But it could also, I don't want to also say that's the reason, but if your purchase amount for approval is a certain amount and it just happens to fall in a neighborhood that may be undesirable. For instance, let me give you an example. Someone may have a pre-approval at $200,000, which is kind of like the average pre-approval these days. But they say, I want to live in Fishers. I don't want to live in any other area, but I want to live in Fishers. Well, it may be difficult because of that price point to find a home on the market for $200,000. And so it could be possible that they'll say, well, right now there isn't any homes available at that price point. However, in this neighborhood, there are homes available for that particular price point. That could appear as redlining, but it's just redirecting the person to the area where that probable price point would be available. And so you do have to be very careful not to assume that just because you're being shown homes in a particular area that the realtor is redlining. They may not have any other choice based on the pre-approved amount. So let's make sure we are fair to the person. But you can ask those questions, why haven't you shown me anything in Fishers? I told you that's where I want to live, but you keep showing me homes in Washington Township or some other township that I'm not interested in. So those are very important things to ask your realtor and to make sure that you're seeing, and everybody's a savvy buyer these days. You can go to realtor.com, you can go to Trulia.com, you can go to Zillow.com, myboard.com. Everybody's looking for themselves even before their realtor is taking them out to see those homes. And so I encourage all buyers to be savvy. Get out there on the internet and do some searching yourself. There's even a site called For Sale by Owner that you could go out there and look at. And so, there's ways that you can kind of do the investigation yourself to see if maybe some of the homes that you're wanting to be shown have been omitted from your list of tours.
Yeah, I like the way you answer that, Robin, because that's very important. You don't want just to assume it, but the only thing about it is that the old saying is buyer beware. So you have to do your research. Do your research on know yourself, know what you're qualified for. Again, it's no sense that I won't be in Fisher if I don't have Fisher's money. That's unrealistic. I've had people who are upset with me because they want to see a certain area, and I will not show a house. And people don't understand. I would not show a person a house until they get a pre-approval letter, because I've had people say, "I want me a $400,000 home." They've never even applied for a mortgage. So I don't want to waste someone's time. You make an offer on a house, they take the house off the market, and now you can't buy the house because that affects everybody involved. You would not want your house to get an offer in your house, and other people are not no longer making offers on your house, and then the person who made an offer in your house can't afford to buy it. Now these other buyers have gone and purchased another property. So many times they will ask for a pre-approval letter, which means you have been approved for a certain amount, and that gives your realtor a guideline to work with. Now, Mario, you're next, because Jamie directed the same questions for you. Do you need me to repeat the question, or do you remember?
I remember the question, and I agree with what Dr. Reese was saying. There's not a lot of redlining that I've had experience with lately. Technology does kind of prevent this. As you know, we use our tools in MyBroer. We can select neighborhoods, we can select zip codes, we can reduce or we can select a price point as well as the number of bedrooms, all the specs that you would want in the house. And then what comes out of that is what a list of houses that you have to select from. The realtor from that point can show you those houses, and you can select those houses that you're qualified for. It really doesn't, from the technology aspect, it doesn't point to redlining, because the data is what it is. If you're filtered out and you have a certain amount that you qualify for and a certain number of specs that you want in a house, that's what will show you. And then from that point, you have to be ready to make that purchase. Once you get your pre-approval and have things ready, that's when the realtor can work on your behalf to make that transaction happen, and where you can be successful homeowner.
Yeah. I think it's great to be able to have the tools that the buyers have now. They have a lot of tools. When I purchased my first home in 1982, my very first home, my realtor had. Now listen, people are deceived many times. The realtor say, Mr. Vitalis, Dr. Reese, and they give you all these pleasantries. They will butter you up, and that's what my realtor did to me. I found my realtor just did me in, and that's what made me get into real estate. Now I know. I wish I knew then what I know now, but they, they, what they were saying, they blow smoke up my nose. I'll say that, smoke up my nose, and I fell for it. Be aware. I cannot overemphasize. Get as much information as you can, because that way, like both our guests said, there's so much data out there for you to have. There's no reason. And don't just allow them to give you a list of homes, and you can pick the homes. You don't just let them give you one house. Tell them to give you a variety of houses. Tell them where you want. And the technology's out there. They can find out where you want. Let me see. Okay, let me figure out where I'm at now. Okay, back to Sister Rose says, another thing about moving, just like preparing for the rapture. All right, you can wait for the trumpet to sound to get ready, prepare, throw out items and you don't need. You'll be surprised at how much stuff you accumulate in a home or apartment that you don't even use. Clean out things you don't need. Let it go, so you move. Your move can be lighter and cheaper. Give to others or drop off at Goodwill, Salvation Army, and or your churches. One man's junk is very, very good. Treasures prepared. Rose brings up a very good point. A lot of us have more junk than we need, and I hope my wife don't see that, because that's what she's been telling me. Get rid of it, get rid of it. There's a whole lot of stuff. So I'm working on that, but that's a very good thing. when you know that you're going to move, prepare for it. You know, if you have a house and want to move to another house, work on your house. You know, there are certain things that people look in a home. They like, most women like a nice kitchen, a nice bathroom, and what else, Dr. Reese?
Those are the most important things. The kitchen and bath are going to be number one. You want something that doesn't have deferred maintenance. That's going to be another issue. And I think that also kind of plays into the whole renting versus buying. So one of the things that we do want buyers to think about is when you're renting a home, the landlord pays for all the maintenance. So you have a issue with the windows, you have an issue with the door, the roof, any of those things, the landlord is going to cover that fee for you. However, as a future homeowner, you have to budget. We call it keeping a emergency fund. So not only do you have to have money for your down payment, the closing cost, and possibly other fees, but you should have some money set aside for possible maintenance. I do like all of my buyers to have a home warranty. That way the home warranty will cover some of those unforeseen things, air conditioner, water heater, major mechanicals going out. But even beyond that, you could have something that's an act of God. You know, you might have a high deductible on the roof and there's some hail damage. So just always keeping that emergency fund and being prepared. And if you're not a person that wants to handle any future maintenance, that might be a reason to continue to rent, because homeownership does have its benefits, but it does also have its requirements for the update. And like even lawn care and snow removal, that could be an expense for some people. And if you're used to not having to do that, that might be something that would be a part of your new budget. So budget wisely, and most importantly, just you've got to think about the cost of what that might look like in the future.
Right. And adding to what you said, because you're approved at $200,000 does not mean you have to buy a $200,000 home, because you have to have a cushion. If you're maxed out, because your mortgage person, you can get $200,000 and you're maxed out, you may have something. If you don't have a home warranty, again, like Dr. Reese said, I encourage all my clients to get a home warranty, because something can go wrong. If you're maxed out, you have to realize now you're with an apartment, now you have to pay gas bill, light bill, insurance, taxes. Well, the taxes is insurance should be rolled into your mortgage payment. But these are extra expenses that you have to consider paying. So you have to think about all those things when you buy a house. Now, however, there's some people prefer to buy a condo. A condo, many times, will, especially as you get older, or some young. I've had young clients. They say, "Hey, give me a condo. I don't want to cut no grass. I don't want to shovel no snow." And so those are another option. See, Sister Jamie says, investigate anytime you're making a big investment. Brought 37 years ago, and glad to know it don't exist. Very good. Thank you, Sister Jamie. Sister Rose says, let me see. Clauses, okay, yeah. Ladies like those big old clauses.
That's what I was gonna say. Closets.
Yeah. So these are things, and so you have to consider that too, and get your home prepared. If you want to buy a house, get your home prepared. Declutter your home, because nobody wants. If your house is cluttered, that makes the house look smaller. And nobody wants a cluttered home. So you take things out, rearrange. We have now, they've gotten so sophisticated. You have people that come in that will stay, what they call staging your home for you. If you want to sell your home, they'll stage it for you, put all this nice stuff in there, and so it looks appealing. Then you have virtual staging. People go online, they can virtually digitize the staging for your home. So it's a lot of things have changed a whole lot since I first started selling real estate. It is unbelievable, because we used to have to carry the contract directly to the client. I remember getting up in the winter in the middle of a blizzard and had to carry a contract to offer to someone's house in the blizzard. Now, because years ago, we couldn't fax. I remember when we first started faxing, I said, hallelujah, when you could fax, but we couldn't even fax. We had to hand carry that offer to that person. So the market has changed, and I think it's changed overall for the good. So
one of the other things to add, Dr. Walton, I think Rose indicated, or she may not have indicated, you may have just mentioned it yourself. You talked about condos not wanting to cut any grass, mow any lawns, things of that nature, mow any lawns and shovel snow. Patio homes is another, you're starting to see that come up a lot. You can have paired or you can have individual patio homes where they're not attached to the neighbor, but that would also give a person the luxury of not having to mow the lawn or shovel the snow in the winter. So that's apart from maybe a condo or an actual townhome. So you've got townhomes, patio homes, and paired homes. The difference is with townhomes and condos, typically you're going to have all of the exterior maintenance taken care of by the homeowner, the management company for the homeowner's policy or the community. And then if you're just going to have a patio home, you're still responsible for your exterior. If the siding is needing to be replaced, the roof needs to be replaced, you'd be responsible for that. But you might have your lawn and your snow taken care of by a monthly fee and not have to worry about the maintenance on those kinds of things. So those are things that we really want to consult with the realtor to see what's your wish list, what's your desire, and what makes it more convenient for you. Do you want to have stairs, no stairs? Do you want to have snow removal built into your monthly fees and that sort of thing? So consultation, just like location. They go together.
And like I said, buyer beware. Also, you have to be aware of the fact that there's association fees too. And sometimes people, when they buy a house, they don't consider the association fee. But every neighborhood has their own individual fees. Some are high. Some fees can run $200, $300, $400 a month. So that can be an added expense on top of your mortgage. So that's something that you want to consider. Sometimes people say, I want to move way out here where those areas are nice and they're luxurious, but there's a cost that's associated with them. A lot of people are not aware, and I try to educate people on association fees because depending on what neighborhood association you're part, they can dictate to you certain colors that you can't, you can't paint shutters of different certain colors. There's certain restrictions. So there's a lot of information out there that you should get before you choose to sign the dotted line. Because once you sign that contract, that's it. You can back out of the contract if you want to, but you might catch a lawsuit and be responsible for it. So you need to think before of all. And there's a checklist that you can get. Many realtors will provide you a checklist to prepare before you purchase a home. And I think it would serve you well to go over the checklist and see what you need to prepare for, because there's a lot of things that you want to think about. Okay, let me see. Sister Renee says, praise and Bishop Anthony Walden and all others. A condo sounds good to me. All right, if it sounds good to you, one of us is willing to help. You see, I'm gonna give all you a chance. One of us will pick whoever you feel comfortable with. Let me see. Brother Ezra says, the older you get, the more patio and condos look good. That's true. As I've gotten older, I will not buy a house with steps on it. I'm sorry. All my houses are ranch. I ain't trying to climb up no steps. I'm just kind of forgetful. I can see myself going up the steps, forget something, go downstairs. Y'all know nothing about that. Young folks then had to go all the way back upstairs and pick up what you've got. So a ranch will work well for me. So Renee said, breach. Okay, that's true. Breach of contract. You have to be careful because people have gotten sued for breach of contract. You just need to know before you sign it. Don't rush into it. Don't rush into signing a contract. Don't let your realtor, if you feel uncomfortable, don't sign a contract till you feel like your questions are answered. Even I've had a client one time. I was at closing, maybe twice, really. Client gets at closing and wanted to read every document. Have you guys had that experience? Read every document. You're fortunate, Mario. I have clients. I said, "Wait a minute, are you serious?" We had to cancel and reschedule it, give them a chance to read the document and reschedule the next day. Every document, and I'm not mad at the person because you have a responsibility. If you need to know that information, that's fine. But let me know ahead of time so we can get the information for you. That's why they have certain documents that they present to you ahead of time. If there's someone on here that has a question before this time is running out. If you have a question concerning home ownership or selling your home, these are the experts. Feel free to ask them what your questions are. If you think about selling your house, start getting your house together now. As I think it was Rose said, start decluttering your house. You want to sell your house? Don't wait till you get out. Then too, that's another thing. If you want to buy a house, make sure you may have to sell your house in order to buy a new house, and think about that. So you can't just say, well, I'm going to sell my house. You got to make sure you have a buyer, because on the contract, they'll actually, if it's pending on to sell your home, and that makes a big difference. So those are things that you have to think about. Okay, let me see. Bishop, I mean typo. Okay, all right then. Okay, there you go. I see what you're talking about now. Yeah. Anyone else? We are just about running out of time. If anyone, you have something that you want to say, feel free. Okay, let me see. I'm going to see. Okay, welcome. It's my turn, Felicia. I don't know if you want to be on here or not. You on here? Welcome. It's my turn now. See, you're like, I imagine sometimes people click the link and they don't realize they're coming on live. But welcome. You're live. You have a question or a comment?
No, I'm just here to support Dr. Reese. So
There you go. There you go. She got caught, didn't she? That's what happened with you. Okay.
I didn't want to. I said I would be on, so I'm just getting home.
And you are on for sure. You're on. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for her support.
Yes, thank you.
All right. God bless you. All right. We have someone else on here. All right. Renee Wood.
Hi, Dennis.
Well, it's my turn now. How y'all doing?
We're great from Arizona. Robin, this was excellent. So excellent job. Enjoyed this entire session. Very good.
And now
Thank you.
I've negotiated our purchase in Arizona, and so she's a international real estate agent.
International. That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
This nexus overseas.
We're speaking it. She doesn't know yet, but it's on its way.
Amen. Thank you.
All right. Very good. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the
your
positive feedback.
support and allowing me to serve you in Arizona.
Very,
Over.
very good. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for the comment.
Thank you.
All right, let me see. Ezra says, do you guys ever have a need of a photographer to capture your properties? I'm the person. Very good. And so what Ezra brings up is a very good point. You know, a lot of times we mandatory, we have to have a certain amount of pictures when we're showing your home. They have so much modern technology now that they have those little androids that you can fly over, take pictures, and the more savvy people do the. But I always good need for a photographer. So Ezra saying, if you need some pictures taken, consider him. So I encourage you to consider him. Again, that's another family member. So hey, we got to support one another. And he's an excellent photographer as well. Let me see. We have Rose says, any breaks for senior citizen when it comes to buying, asking for a friend. That's a good question. I don't know any breaks that I don't know any breaks for senior citizens. Everybody's money is the same. I guess.
Yeah, I'm not aware of any.
What's that?
I'm not aware of any, but I'm still young.
There are breaks for veterans, though, because they don't have to put any down payment. They get a loan that's 100%. So a senior citizen could be a veteran and he could have that benefit, or he could just be a veteran and not a senior and still have that benefit. But just for the protected class of senior citizenship, I'm not aware of any other breaks other than having an awesome realtor that's an awesome negotiator, and she's going to make sure that her clients, rather senior or not, would get the best opportunity in purchasing their home. So,
and I will add to that too. If you're a first time home buyers, there's different programs that you will have to check into again. Check into. There are certain programs that will allow you a different type of rates and things like that for first time home buyers. Again, veterans, VA is a very good program to get a house with no down payment, because a lot of times people want to get a house but they don't have the down payment. So that's very good. Again, you may want to start saving up now if you want to get a house. What's the average? About 3% for a down payment. Mm-hmm. So you want to factor in about 3%. Start saving the money right now for that. Okay, let me see who we have.
We do have grant money that's available, so we can also talk with you about whether or not you qualify. And it doesn't always have to be the first time buyer to get the grant. They will also give it to some second time home buyers. So again, consultation. Let's talk, and we can see what you qualify for if you're interested in purchasing a home.
See, the market has changed. The market has kind of changed to fit the need for the clients, because I remember when years ago that if you lost a house, you foreclosed a house, it may be 10 years before you qualify to get in that house. Now you can lose a house, go in foreclosure, and it's a lot less time that you're able to qualify to get another home. So these are questions you want to ask. You don't want to just assume anything. Ask your realtor those questions. Jamie says, haven't seen it, Rose. I haven't seen it either. I'm a senior citizen now. If I can give me a discount, somebody let me know. So I need a Boaz that's a veteran. I guess so. That's your sister, Dr. Reese. That's your sister. Sister Menorah said, "God bless Sister Menorah. Thank you, Joyce." But those sisters, they're all so funny. All the ones I met, you guys are so nice, so funny. Sister Menorah said, "Great advice. Thank you." We are running out. Oh, it's past 9 o'clock. I'm going to Mario Vitalis. He's working on a house. He has Airbnbs that he has. He's a very industrious young man, and he took time out of preparing on one of his Airbnb properties. He has a number of properties downtown area. If you need an Airbnb, go see him. Make sure if you go see him, tell him that I recommended you. Maybe he'll break his uncle off a little something.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, thank you for having me on the show. I do appreciate the opportunity. And yeah, I do have a few Airbnbs, and I took time out of my schedule for my uncle Anthony. So yeah, just because of the love, you know.
There you go. Nothing but love. Nothing but love. I had the pleasure of performing the wedding ceremony when he got married to one of my favorite nieces. He got married. I had the pleasure of performing actually joint Bishop Fennell and myself. We both performed the ceremony, which is a privilege to do that. And so we thank God. Thank you for taking the time. Don't forget, you have options if you want to have him to sell your home, or you need a place to rent. Look him up. Feel free, both of you, give your information on here, how people can contact you as well. Okay. Dr. Reverend Reese, God bless you. You want to give us a closing statement?
Sure. It has been a pleasure to be on and to share with everyone. Certainly feel free to look me up. I am on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. You can look for Reese Group Realty. You can go to my website, reesegrouprealty.com, or you could reach out to me by my mobile phone number, which is 317-652-7158. But reesegrouprealty.com will be a quick way to find me online. And I would love the pleasure of being able to assist you with even rentals. So new construction, investment property, buying, selling, rentals, all of those things are a part of the repertoire that I'd be willing to assist with. So just want you to be a happy homeowner and a real estate owner, and I'll be able to serve you in any of those capacities. So feel free to go to my website or reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram or even Twitter. So easy to find me, Robin Reese. You'll find me. You can Google me and find me.
And Rob, I want you to feel free to type the information in on a message, how they can contact you too, and just makes it simpler for them to reach you. Mario, you can do the exact same thing as well. Most of you know how to reach me. If you want my services, feel free to inbox me, call me. Hey, I'm not hard to find at all. Let me see. I got a few more comments. Myrna said this was a great conversation, wonderful information. Appreciate each of you. Thank you again, Sister Myrna. Rose says great information from you both. She said you both. It's two. That means one person's been left out. Rose. Who's that? Who's the person that got left out? All right. Okay. We know for sure it wasn't Dr. Reese, Mario. So it's you or me. One of us got left out. Okay. Or ask her sister. Very good. Okay. Let me see. Tamika said great information. Thank you, guys. Thank you all for listening to this week's episode. It's my turn now. What I did something different this month is I put schedule of all the shows that we're going to have for the month of August. Next week, we're going to talk with the young lady who suffered a tragic loss on the duck boat, and she's going to share with us life with her after 6 years since the tragic loss of a big portion of her family. So I want you right now to plan to join us next week for that program. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family. Every Monday night, same time, same location. It's my turn now. Robin Reese. Also,
Thank you, Ezra. I appreciate that.
cousin, then put your number down and left my number. What
I
is
know
this
Ezra
right
went to
here?
church together, so we're.
What is this right here, cuz?
Thank you, Ezra.
I block them off here, Robin. No, but seriously, I had someone ask me one time. They said, "Why would you have other realtors on there?" I have no problem. You know, it's enough business out there, and everyone. People prefer different people. Everyone doesn't click. So whoever you feel comfortable with, that's who you go with. I have no problem. You know, and I'm a firm believer what God has for you, He's got for you, and that's the thing about it. And I'm here to help people. We're all here to help people.
Yes.
I want you to get who you feel comfortable with. If you feel comfortable with me, fine. If you feel comfortable with someone else, that's what I want you to do. But in the meantime, I want you to just do your due diligence. Buyer beware, study, prepare, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Dr. Reverend Reese, we'll let you dismiss us in prayer.
Amen. Well, most importantly, we are not in competition with one another. We are in cooperation with one another. So realtors work together. I have homes on the market. I'd love for one of you to sit on the other side of the table to sell one of those and vice versa. So let us pray.
I want to say before you pray, actually, Rob and I have been in classes together. We sit next to
Yes.
that's a number of classes. So
Yes.
and that's the thing about we have to take class. The realtors have to take class so they can stay up to date on the various information. Okay, got one more question. One more. Okay, no, that's the same one.
Oh, Ezra's putting my number out there again. Good job, Ezra. I'll pay you afterwards.
I'm gonna have to take them off the family tree. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
One branch out the family tree.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we just thank you. We thank you for all that has taken place this evening. We thank you for all of the people who have tuned in to hear, to give advice, to comment, and just to show their support. We love each and every one of these people. We thank you for Dr. Walton, for the platform that he has established to help people and to be a voice to our community. And certainly it's my turn now. I thank God for having this opportunity and thank God for all that he pours out. We pray that you would continue to bless their businesses, bless our friend DeMario, his business. Thank you for his all of the things that he's involved in. Again, I would love the opportunity to work with them both, and knowing that, again, we are in cooperation with one another. We thank God for realtors. We thank God for the assignment that each of us have in helping people to embrace and to actualize the American dream. So we thank you in advance for all those that are currently owners, all those that prefer to be owners in the future, and maybe even just investment property. They can own their home now and just invest in a property and provide rental opportunities for people. So there's so many ways that we can be involved in our real estate. And again, we are really trying to make sure that we have systemic wealth that would last not only for this generation, but for all the generations to come. So we thank you that we're savvy buyers, we're savvy investors, and most importantly, God, we are ones that will help others to come alongside of them so that they can be in the position to own as well. So again, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for the platform. Thank you for all the people that are present. Bless them, cover them, keep them, watch over them, give them everything that they stand in need of. And we all will be careful, God, to give you the praise, the honor, and the glory. It is in the matchless and glorious name of Jesus Christ that we prayed, and we all said, amen.
Once again,
Amen.
thank you both for your positive information, your input. Invaluable, can't put a price tag on you. Thank you for joining us. And thank you, the listeners, for joining this week's episode of It's My Turn Now.